Prithviraj, welcome to India today.
Thank you so much.
It's always such a delight to have a chat with you because I can say that you're perhaps one of the few actors who takes everything so seriously. You give your heart's sweat and blood to everything that you do. Where does this fall? Because you've had so much of work, right?
I don't even think I can any longer classify this as an experience of an actor, because when I said yes to this film, it was 2008, 2009. I wasn't married. I wasn't a father, obviously. I had not turned director. I had not launched my company. The brand called Prithviraj Productions did not exist back then. And, I was still discovering myself as, I still am, for that matter. It was just, I'm 41 now and I have spent 16 years ideating for this film. So I don't think I'll ever be able to classify this with the rest of my career. This is a standalone experience in itself. And although the process of making the film was just 4 years, when I say just 4 years, to me, the experience is 16 to 17 years long. And so many instances between 2008 and when we finally began shoot in 2018, most random instances where I'd be in some part of the world, maybe even shooting for something else, and one evening I'd be sitting there and suddenly I'll just zone off into Najib and think of, okay, so what would have happened then? So many years, so many instances. So I think I've grown up with this experience, quite literally, I have grown up with this experience. And I'm assuming 10 years of having traveled with ideating for this film and for this character finally culminated when we started shoot in 2018. And then a whole new journey began of actually making the film. I put on a lot of weight for the film, which you will see in the film. And we started shoot. And we did the Kerala schedule, and then we went to Jordan and we shot what we now refer to as the fat desert schedule. And then we stopped shoot for 8 months, 8 months for me to lose weight. I lost 31 kilos.
Wow.
And I was just a completely different person. And then we went back, we started shooting Jordan again, and the pandemic struck. And we had to stop shoot. We had to suspend shoot for 1.5 years, where I obviously had to then let go of my impossible diet and get to some healthy body weight. And then 1.5 years later, I had to go through the whole process once again, of again losing weight. Then we went back to Algeria and we shot the escape portions in Algeria, in Timimoun. I don't even think the places we went to, a film has ever been shot in. Like it's in the bang in the middle of the Sahara Desert. And we came back to Jordan. We finished what we could not finish, before the pandemic hit. Then we came back to Kerala and finally wrapped the film in 2022. So it's just, It
doesn't sound like a film at all.
Exactly.
Absolutely feels like you're letting me into a part of your life.
I am, I am. So it's just one of those experiences where I think will now remain as a bank inside of me for the rest of my life. And that's not, I don't even mean this just as an actor. Even as a human being, I've grown as an individual, as somebody who fell in love and got married and, then became a father, then I became a director, then I became a producer, now I'm directing my third film. All these transitions in my life had one thing as a constant, and that was the goat life. So, yeah, it's just incredible.
Wow. So then how does one let go? Can you let go? I mean, as an actor, when you segregate between the person that you are and the actor that you are?
So I've always maintained that I'm quite good with disassociating with cinema. I've repeated this many times that I treat my successes and my failures the same way. But having said that, I don't know if I can sit here and tell you that, yeah, that's it, I'm done with Najib. Because I think because of the journey that this film has been through and because of what, as an actor and as a person, I have had to go through to complete this film, I think there will be a bit of Najib in me forever.
That moment will stay with you for a very, very long time.
Yeah, it will. Yeah.
I have to ask you, so many films down the line, so many characters, it's like shedding skin. You take one on, you shed, you get into the other. If you had to revisit your younger self and give him a piece of advice, what would it be today?
it's strange. When I was much younger and I started doing cinema at a very young age, I had big dreams, and I knew that I remember long back I used to I've told someone that I'll never claim to be the most talented or the most gifted, but I will always have an honest shot at being the most hardworking. So if I had to go back and say, I don't know if I could tell the younger self anything at all. I don't know if I'd change anything at all. I mean, I never knew I would be an actor. So my namesake college education was pursuing a degree in information technology. So if I could go back now, maybe that's one thing I'd change. Maybe I'd study direction or editing or one of the crafts in cinema.
Right.
Yeah, because I'm not too sure that acting can be taught. Aspiring actors can be given a sense of direction, a sense of what they want to do with their craft. But I don't think acting can be taught per se, because it differs in each person,
Right.
how you harness that skill in you. But one of the more technical crafts of cinema, like editing, cinematography, or production design, maybe I would have picked up one of those courses to get a more overall view of cinema. Other than that, I don't know if I'd change anything about my past.
Yeah, let's just keep the way things have been. It's been a good journey.
Yeah, it has. I can't be complaining. Yeah.
Aamir in a conversation recently made a very interesting point. He said sometimes the imposter culture fears me because an actor, audience can see through an actor and how good and bad he is, right? And this happens with every actor. It could happen with the most senior and the most new coming face. Do you feel that? Do you agree with the fact that there is a certain...
It's strange because as actors, we act in front of the camera, but the one man-made instrument to which you really cannot be lying is the camera, especially the film camera. If you're lying to the camera will catch you out. And people watching you from the other side of the camera will know you're lying. Maybe you get away with lying, right? But you'll still be lying and it will come through. So as actors, it is very, very important that you're very honest with yourself to be able to play different characters. And when I say be honest with yourself, you should have a very clear idea about who you really are.
Right.
Right? Don't let these characters or the films that you play push you into believing you're something else. In Malayalam, there is this usage called Sthai Bhavam, which is your bhavam. What in Hindi? What is it? Your
emotion or your sense of being.
More than your sense of being, your status of being.
Okay.
When you're not doing anything, your absolute real self. You should have a very keen idea about what and who that really is as an actor, and that stems from being very honest with yourself. Only if you're deeply honest with yourself can you successfully lie. So, yeah.
That's a good line to sort of keep in your notebook down the line.
So I think Aamir sir, I'm a huge fan. I remember having met him not too long ago in Rajasthan for a wedding, and I was in awe of the man because he's a huge idol and inspiration. And if Aamir sir has said this, I'm assuming it's an offshoot of the same thought that I'm trying to articulate here. So
right, yeah, that's two great minds think alike. Maybe we can put it to that. I have to say that you're very hungry for good work. You've also, if you look at the eclectic work that you've done, you've sort of broken the stereotypes, pushed the envelope, also put yourself in uncomfortable positions, crossed across the language barriers of what people will expect of you to do. And perhaps the journey is not easy. I mean, you can tell yourself because you're in those shoes, I'm not. When everybody was talking about pan-India and it had become the go-to word for media people to ask, what was going through in your mind? Because just as somebody who's an audience, a filmmaker, a director, and an actor from a family, what did you make of this whole notion of pan-India stars and films pushing actors as pan-India actors?
So, I love the phenomenon. The part of the phenomenon where when you say pan-India, it means that a film made in any part of the country could potentially be exhibited in any other part of the country and hope to find success. That part of the phenomenon I absolutely love. I mean, who wouldn't?
Right.
Anybody involved with the business of filmmaking would love it. But I also observed a wrong tendency in the whole phenomenon that people were then setting out to make pan-Indian films.
Right.
And I've said this again multiple times that you really can't make a pan-Indian film. A film becomes pan-Indian. You know, the finest example I can quote is Kantara.
Right.
I was one of the distributors of the film, and I know that when the film released, Hombale and Rishabh and the whole team, they didn't set out thinking we are going to make a pan-Indian success. The film organically became,
Right.
you know, the phenomenon that it eventually did. What you can do as makers is give a film the opportunity to attain its full potential. And how is that? Well, you can spend money, make the effort of making sure that your film has a proper release, a proper network through which it becomes accessible to film lovers across the world. Now that is becoming easier as we speak.
There is so much of an emotion, there's a landscape that you go through, and then there is Rahman's soulful music touching you at every frame.
His work in the film is, I mean, I'm a huge A.R. Rahman fan. I've had the privilege of acting in 2 films that he's lent music to. One is, of course, Maniratnam's Ravanan in the South, and 2 is another very special film for me called Kavya Talevan, for which I won my only Tamil Nadu state award. But this film, I mean, you know, I told Raman sir this. I've done so many films. I think this is a film where, after listening to the music, I so desperately hoped that, oh my God, I wish I had this music when I was acting. You know, like I wish this could have been playing
at the back of your
when I was acting.
shot.
Yeah, it was just magic.
Thank you for making the movies for so many years. Thank you for giving us the goat life, and wish you all the very best on
Thank
this.
you so much.